Sonic TV1, where you are number one and our guests are stars among stars. I am Sonic, your host, and we have an exciting show lined up for you today. Last week, it was our 13th episode, anniversary recap show. We took a short walk down memory lane and recapped our first 12 episodes. If you missed episode 13, be sure to check it out. But first, later in the show, we will be welcoming Michele Rouse, Brian the Synth-Man Washington to the show. We will be sharing exciting updates, plus we have some breaking news just for you. That's right here on Sonic TV1, your new home for entertainment. As a music producer, songwriter, musician, and audio engineer, I have had the incredible opportunity to collaborate with legends like Tony Terry, Lauryn Hill, Intro, Albie Shore, and work with iconic labels such as Virgin, Capitol, and Warner Brothers Records, to name a few. Today, I invite you to take a journey with me through the heart of music and entertainment and technology. Let's dive into the stories and sounds that shape our world. Thank you for being here. Let's make some magic together. The quote of the day: never underestimate the power of dreams and the influence of the human spirit. We are all the same in this notion. The potential for greatness lives within each one of us. Author William Rudolph. In 2021, I released my single, Easy Street, featuring Eric Marienthal of the legendary Chick Corea's Electric Band. We will be sharing that shortly. And later on in the show, we'll share my music video for Broadway, which was directed by Brian Synth-Man Washington, and he will be joining us a little later on, along with Michele Rouse. Coming up next, Easy Street. So stay tuned. Keep it locked right here on Sonic TV1, your new home for entertainment. That was Easy Street, featuring Eric Marienthal of the legendary Chick Corea's Electric Band on saxophone. On bass, we have Walter Jones. On guitar, we have the one and only Johnny J. 2 Johnson on guitar. Plays with some of the greats, Eric Benet, Boys to Men, just to name a few. We're excited to have our guest coming up. Today is a special day. It's Thanksgiving. That's right. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. And so what better time than to have family on the show and come together. So we're just looking forward to that shortly coming up. Now, but first, we're going to show the video that for Broadway, which was directed by Brian Synth-Man Washington. We shot this in New York a couple of months ago. Yeah, just a couple of months ago. So we hope you like it. Hope
this is a world premiere.
That was Broadway, produced, written, and arranged by yours truly, and all instruments except the saxophone and guitar. Guitar by Johnny J. 2 Johnson. Saxophone is featuring the one and only William Prince out of Connecticut, saxophone virtuoso, blessed us with his talent. You can also check out his music on his website, williamprincemusic.net, williamprincemusic.net. It's been such a trying time, but we're excited today that it's Thanksgiving. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. That's right. And it's a special family show today where we have our guests, Brian Synth-Man Washington and Michele Rouse, joining us shortly. So if you like what we do, you like what you see, you like what you're hearing, please subscribe and like the channel right down below. Subscribe and like the channel right down below. You'll get the notifications of when we go live, upcoming events, and you'll be in the know of all that's going on. Also down below, you can find the description about the show, of today's show, and also you can reach out to us. We also have our contact information below. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to get your feedback. So reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. So right after these two short intro videos, we'll be having our guests join us. So keep it locked right here. We have a whole lot in store for you today. You don't want to miss out on this episode. Lots in store for you. So stay tuned. Keep it locked right here.
Michele Rouse is a dynamic and multifaceted entrepreneur, a creative professional, and passionate advocate for the gospel. As a proud mother of a Berklee School of Music sophomore, Michele has a deep connection to the arts and a proven track record for success. A seasoned music director, vocalist, songwriter, and recording artist, she has honed her craft in the music industry while also excelling as a graphic designer and actress. Michele is the owner of Blessed Baked Goods, a thriving business based in Connecticut, where she combines her culinary expertise as a certified pastry chef with her entrepreneurial vision. Known for her excellence in event production and management, she has created high-profile events for top-tier executives and clients. A graduate of Lincoln University, Michele is also an ecclesiastic woman of God, dedicated to sharing the transformative gospel of Jesus Christ in all she does. Sonix TV1, join me in welcoming the legendary, the one and only Michele Rouse. Brian the Synth-Man Washington, movie director, executive producer, and musician. Brian the Synth-Man Washington's journey into filmmaking began at just 10 years old, fueled by a fascination with the end credits of his favorite movies. Driven by an insatiable curiosity about the intricate craft behind the scenes, he delved into the roles of actors, voice artists, stunt performers, camera operators, and most intriguing, sound and visual effects creators. From an early age, Brian understood that filmmaking was a collaborative effort, requiring a dedicated team of creators. A versatile musician and music producer, Brian earned the nickname The Synth-Man for his innovative use of synthesized sounds on the keys. At his own studio, he has produced tracks for a diverse array of clients, recorded local artists, and composed original scores for his debut short film. His lifelong fascination with sound effects seamlessly transitioned into his music, with sampled effects enriching his compositions and vocal recording techniques, paving the way for his adeptness at automated dialogue replacement, ADR, for film. Brian is a self-taught filmmaker and video editor, continuously expanding his skills with advanced 3D compositing for visual effects. His portfolio spans music videos, interviews, church and sporting events, concerts, and weddings. Yet his heart beats strongest for filmmaking. Brian's first short film, 10-Minute Window, which he wrote, directed, and edited, earned him accolades at the Augusta Indie Film Festival.
Meet Marcus, a good guy with a bad sense for time.
Wasn't I take my alarm last night?
No matter how hard he tries,
Come on, Key, what you doing?
he can't get it together.
I gotta get to work.
His boss is breathing down his neck.
Now you already know I don't like you.
A string of bad luck and time going against him.
No, why does this happen to me?
he'll have to beat the odds
Can y'all just move out the way and let me through? I promise I'll give you $1, give you $1.
and beat the clock to keep his job.
I can't lose my job, damn.
From producer Brian Synth-Man Washington brings you the hilarious short film, 10-Minute Window. When you're in a rush and time's racing against you, good luck.
Come on, trucks, move it!
His follow-up, Rat and the Wolf, has similarly impressed audiences at festivals and online.
Shortcut? Where? Through the woods?
My name is Red.
There's a big bad wolf running around out here.
Where is he?
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?
You are.
I finally see the face of the dog I'm gonna kill.
I'm the big bad wolf. I can't be killed.
With experience in various filmmaking roles, including director, assistant director, director of photography, and editor, Brian has crafted several short films and is now preparing to produce his debut feature-length film. His ultimate ambition is to helm major motion pictures and emerge as a leading black film director in the industry. Sonix TV1, join me in welcoming Brian the Synth-Man Washington.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing technical difficulties.
It happens.
Interesting. We're going to play this music video and we'll be right back after this message.
Hey, yo, Sonic, what do you want to be when you grow up?
That's easy. A music producer, songwriter, arranger, composer, recording artist, TV host. Nah, I take that back. A savage. 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 I'm just a savage. 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 Birds flying high. You know how I feel. Sun in the sky.
Savage turned out dope too.
Savage. I'm just a savage.
Let's try this again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Brian Synth-Man Washington and Michele Rouse to the show. How you guys feeling today? How you feeling today, Brian?
I'm good, fam. What's going on, Sonic?
You know, we're just having some technical difficulties today, but we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it.
That's
How
right.
How you feeling, Michele?
I am so blessed and excited to be here on your show tonight, Sonix. It's truly an honor to be here.
The honor is all ours. We making it happen today. Come hell or high water, we here.
That's right.
So that was the music video for Savage. We came up with that idea to have shoot a couple of videos with Brian. And Savage is the music video commercial, but we'll circle back to that shortly. I want to welcome Michele to the show because she's new to the show. Today is her first time on the show. So Michele, we'll start with you. Everyone knows how we start this show. We start at the beginning of the book that is Michele Rouse. So today, tell us, what was home life growing up and where'd you grow up?
Well, I grew up in New York and Connecticut. We currently reside in Connecticut now. We grew up with a huge family full of talented, wonderful people, and we're full of musicians and artists and you name it, songwriters, designers, and you name it, we have it in our family. And our family is not just talented in the arts and entertainment. We also a family that is full of ministers and preachers and clergy. So we're very well-rounded but full of faith.
So you were actually you started singing and writing and songwriting and actressing. What age did you start singing?
Oh, wow. I started singing as a little baby, I guess about 2 years old. We grew up singing. Everybody in the house had to learn how to play an instrument or sing. that was a prerequisite of growing up in our house. So not only were we asked to sing or play an instrument, we pretty much did both. We sang and played and acted. We did whatever, we put our hands to do. It was always busy doing something.
And you started developing that skill and also started choir directing. Tell us about that.
Yes. Actually, my mother, she used to direct the church choir and the regional choir and the choir of the district. So when I was young, she had me directing the Sunbeam choir, the little choir. And then even as a child, as I was growing up, still in the Sunbeam, she had me directing the big choirs as well because she saw the talent that was within me. So she just kept pushing me to do greater things.
And then you developed skills in the culinary as a chef, pastry chef.
Yes. Again, learning from my family. In the kitchen when I was a little girl, working in the kitchen with my mother and also my dad. He also had a, hand in helping me learn how to bake. He had us baking peach cobbler, and I learned how to bake peach cobbler from my dad, but all the other baking was taught by my mother. And from there, self-taught. I just started experimenting with different things. And then finally I went to school. I took some classes and I was certified in the class was Le Calabash. It's in France. I took courses in France and I learned how to do some pastry. I did all kinds of pastries and breads while I was in France. So I'm not just self-taught, I'm also a certified pastry chef.
So when did what age would you say you developed that passion for culinary arts?
Oh, wow. I would say about 5 years old. I was always in the kitchen. Even my grandmother, Mama, she taught us how to cook. She taught us how to make sure we had, pots burning in the kitchen. So I learned from my grandmother on both sides. My grandmother, Mary Rouse, and my aunts, all my aunts, they can cook. They throw down in the kitchen. So I was in everybody's kitchen picking up little things from here and there. And it was just a wonderful experience growing up in a household of people that love to cook, love to sing, love to bake, love to just very talented.
If you don't know, Michele throws down. Like when I tell you she throws down, ladies and gentlemen, she throws down. So if you can ever get a chance to order something from her, you definitely should. But we'll circle back to you a little bit. So Brian, welcome back to the show, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good to see you on. Good to have you again on the show. So let's start. Let's give the viewers a little bit of a refresher, if you will. So tell me about it. Growing up, home life. Where'd you grow up? Where were you born?
So most of my family's from South Carolina, Jetburg, South Carolina, Somerville, Charleston.
My
dad was
Jetburg.
Yeah. Everybody in Jetburg was happening. Salute. But my dad was Army, so I'm a military brat, so I pretty much grew up everywhere. East Coast, West Coast, overseas in Germany. So I wasn't really raised in one area. So I kind of view that as a good thing because I got so many cultural backgrounds from being in different places. So that's why I get along with so many people. It don't matter whether you're white, black, red, purple. I done been around you all. So, I think that's a good grounding for me growing up, is being in different places.
So you started off as a child musician. You were playing keys at first, or you were playing drums first?
Started off on drums around, like Michele, age 5, playing drums in church. And then I think when I got to around 8, I was on keys. But before that, I'm surprised y'all gonna know what this is. Go all the way back to the roots. Y'all know what this is.
Washboard, let's get it.
That's what we started off with in the old church, the old washboard.
Yes, sir.
Had to keep that. So, yeah, I remember as a kid in Man Pappas Church back home in Jetburg. I remember with the big fat comb and the washboard. I was just helping in the musician corner with that thing. So, good memories with that.
And then you got into film. What age would you say you got into film? What inspired you?
So around age 10, I just started really paying attention to like my favorite cartoons or shows, and I would watch the end credits because I knew at age 10, I was like, who did all of this? Like, who did the voices? Who did the sound effects, the visual effects? And I just started reading these names. Had no idea why I was reading them, but I understood at the end of the movie or the show, it took all the people to make this thing. And I was always interested in it. And, back then we didn't have YouTube or anything like that. But it was rare when you got to see like a behind the scenes of a show. And I loved the bloopers when they did show something. I was like, and I knew back then, I was like, I could do that. I don't know how I knew, but I just knew I could do that. And then plus my dad used to let me hold his video camera back in the day. He had the old homeschool, not homeschool, but what do you call them? Home video recorders. Mm-hmm. And he would let me hold them. And he would show me how to frame a shot, and he would set it up on like my grandmother's TV. And we just got a kick out of that. Everybody seeing themselves on TV back then. So that really inspired me to get into filmmaking. That's my, humble beginnings like that.
Wow. Your story is so inspiring. You also went into the armed forces to serve the country. What branch were you in the armed forces?
I went into the Army, and I was in for almost 8 years.
8 years. And so when did you decide that movie directing was for you? What age would you say?
Probably around it started with age 10, reading the end credits. But I think as I got into more of a teenager, maybe 15, 16, that I was really like, I want to get more into that, even though I was still doing the music thing, but nobody really knew. But in the back of my head, I was like, I really want to learn filmmaking. I really want to do it. I just felt that I could do it. Didn't know how. I just knew in my spirit, I'm like, I can do this if I had the opportunity.
Well, you grew up in such a creative, talented family. Everyone sang, everyone played instruments.
Yes.
Just creativity all around. And so Brian makes movies, Michelle's making pastry and event coordinating and PR and graphics. And Brian's producing music, writing music and commercial. It was just a melting pot of just creativity and excellence, and everyone worked together. And, you know, so Ricky, Darren, and Andre, all these different inspiring musicians and singers, Crystal, you name it, they were just inspiring us, and we just dove deep into it. And Michele just became a pastry chef and went to France. And, you know, when did you start Baked Blessed Goods?
I started Blessed Baked Goods around 1999. I actually was in transition from my permanent job. It was during the recession, so I had to reinvent myself. So I took what I knew and I turned it into something fabulous. God gave me the name Blessed Baked Goods, and in a dream, I was, sleep one night and I woke up. I'm like, Blessed Baked Goods, what's that? And
wow.
Today, here we are, Blessed Baked Goods. I'm just baking and designing cakes and sculpting 3D cakes and tiered cakes, wedding cakes, all kinds of things for a lot of people.
It's so inspiring, and it's amazing to see. I shared some of your photos in your intro video, so it's just amazing to see what you do. You make it 3D where you can actually see the item, make it actual, and then also it's actually edible. The Michael Jackson that stands out to me a lot. The Michael Jackson jacket with the zippers on it. What part of that is actually edible? All of it? Is all of it edible?
All of it is edible. The Michael Jackson inspired cake was one of my favorites because, I used to be a big fan of Michael Jackson growing up, and as a lot of us were. So we would mimic Michael Jackson. So a tribute to him was just fitting for the purpose. Yeah.
And speaking of Michael Jackson, we had John J.R. Robinson on the show a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. And actually, he's playing on all of those songs, Thriller, Off the Wall. Yeah, so we had him on the show not too long ago. And we actually grew up listening to that record, and lo and behold, full circle now. He's one of our friends of ours, so we're just blessed of that, and to be in that position. So Brian, tell us about your filmmaking process. Tell me about that.
The process as far as beginning to end, how I do it?
What's your creative process? What inspires you to make a film?
It's funny, it's kind of different ways, but one way that most people probably don't do, I get inspired by sounds. So I love sound effects. So I can just listen to sound effects. I mean, I have an idea in my head, but if I hear something, it'll spark an entire film idea in my head just by hearing something, whether it's a gunshot, whether it's like robots moving or anything, something that inspires me just by sound. I'm like, and a whole idea will just develop from just hearing that one or two sound effects that I'm listening to. So that's kind of how it starts. And then once I get the idea in my head, I'm listening to sound effects, I'm listening, and then I'll probably get some temp music, and I'm listening. I'm pretty much putting all this together in my head before I even pull the camera out. So I pretty much see the final product in my head before I even go out to shoot anything. Or if I see a location, I may even go out and do a location scout. If I see a location, I'm looking at the buildings, the materials that's used, or whatever the area is, and I'm framing the shot. I'm literally like this, and I'm like, do this, and I pretty much cut the whole thing in my head. So
wow, that's amazing. And how about you? What inspires you in your creative process when you come up with cake ideas? Is it the client asking you for certain things, or is it just something you just think of off the top of your head?
Well, creativity is something we were born with, and it's just innate. It comes to you in many different ways. And as Brian said, even in my music, years ago, I was working in this company where I was in this room with a bunch of photocopiers, and I kept hearing the photocopiers, and I heard the sound of the photocopiers, and I wrote a whole song from the photocopy sound from the photocopier. So anything can inspire you to write to do some music, to sing. You can get inspiration from anywhere, just life. And just even as baking, I'm just inspired by, I can walk outside and see something outside of the beauty that is outdoors and go, oh, I got an idea. I want to do this. So just the little things.
Wow, there's just such creativity here on the show today. And it's just a wonderful thing to see how inspired and driven they are, and they're sharing their time with us today. And it was Michelle's birthday 2 days ago. Before we get too far, I want to make sure that we wish her happy birthday here on the show. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Michelle. Happy birthday to you. And many more. I gave it a Vegas sound act, you know what I mean?
I throw harmony in there. I'm not the singer, but I can hear the harmony though.
B, you supposed to join in, bro. You're supposed to say,
okay. I did at the end. Watch the playback.
You just left me hanging.
Hey, it's not my forte, but I can hear it.
It's all good. So a couple of months ago, we got together to shoot a music video for a song that I was inspired by our grandmother, Mehmet. She came to me on my birthday, and I like to meditate and pray on my birthday. I kind of like to be still, and before I could even get out of bed, this whole concept of take me back to church came to me, and just kept seeing visuals of driving up to the old church in South Carolina, my grandmother taking me to church, just driving by. So I just came up with this song concept called Take Me Back to Church. And I reached out to my sister, Michelle, and I said, Michelle, I got this song. Mehmet inspired me with this song. And then she was like, well, we got this family reunion coming up. And I'm like, okay, are you coming? I kept getting texts from various family members. Are you coming to the family reunion? Oh, this one's coming. We haven't seen him in years. This one's coming. I haven't seen him in years. And meanwhile, Mehmet's just beating me in the head with this song idea and visuals and more visuals. And the more it just started dwelling in my spirit. And I told Michelle about it. And so she was like, you know what? Why don't we you should shoot that music video. I was like, well, I think I'm going to try to shoot the video. She's like, well, I can help you organize it with the organization team. And then I'm like, okay, well, I got to find somebody to shoot it. She goes, you should reach out to your cousin, Brian. I was like, Brian, what does Brian have to do with film? She told me at that moment, she said, Brian is doing movies. I'm like, Brian's doing movies? When did Brian get into movies? So I'm like, okay. I said, well, I don't know. And then lo and behold, I said, you know what? Let's do it. Let's try it. And so we went down to Somerville, Jetburg, South Carolina, and we was able to make this music video. And it was spectacular. It just came out exactly like Mehmet showed me. Our grandmother showed me in that moment what it could be. So what was it like? What was it like to you when I reached out to you first, Michelle?
Well, when you reached out to me and you shared your concept and then you sent me a rough draft of it, I immediately understood the vision of where you was trying to go with it. And I was like, that's why I was like, oh, wow, you gotta do this down south. You gotta go down south and do it at the reunion. You gotta do it. So I was encouraging you to do it because I just saw the vision. I mean, he just said, how it came to him. And I was already imagining how the video would be and where we would do it at and what we would do. And it was just awesome because it was just so alive just by him talking about it. So it just came alive while he was talking. And because the concept was just so awesome. So, I mean, as Brian, as he said, I was like, oh, you gotta have Brian on this. And he was very shocked about that. But I was like, no, you don't know. Brian is awesome. He does his thing. You gotta check him out. So everything came together even with all the ups and downs that was trying to stop you from coming and doing it, it just came together perfectly. And, you know, and only things like that happen because it's God's will. So it's a purpose and a plan for this to be here and to be shown.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and then, like I said, I was blown away when I first reached out to you, and you were so encouraging. And I needed that at that moment because, you know, it's a daunting task to have such a powerful song concept and visual in your mind. And then it's like, okay, the complications of actually capturing that, you know, and then so you put me in touch and directed me to Brian, and then being able to connect with Brian. And when I reached out to Brian, Brian was like, what you want to do now? what you trying to do, cuz? And then so what did you think when I initially reached out to you, Brian?
Well, when you first sent me the song, like we talked about earlier, it's like as soon as I heard it, I was like, okay, I'm seeing it in my head. And then I listened to I think I listened to it like 5 times in a row. And each time I kept seeing something different. So I was like, I said, okay. And then, or even before that, when you was explaining that you wanted to do it in the old church, I said, oh, okay. That right there was like, ding. I was like, okay, I can see that. And then every time I listen to it, and I'm picturing the old church, and I'm listening to the song and the lyrics and everything, I was like, okay, I got it. Let's do it. So I was with it.
And it was a blessing to be able to do it in the old church our grandfather built with his own hands, and actually capture the exact vision that our grandmother was actually showing me. You know, it's one thing to have these visuals and concepts as creative people, but to get them to play out, you know, actually record them, give them, you know, to birth them and see them come to fruition. You know, that's the for me, it's like, it's so awe-inspiring when you see it back, you know, and it actually comes out the way that you see it in your mind and you have it in your heart. And this video actually did that. And hats off to both of you. Michele actually played a very, she had played a very crucial part to the music video. She actually was the choir director in the video. What did you think when I asked you to be the director in the video?
Just like old times. That's we did so many collaborations in our lives together, you know. Whatever one did, the other did. Okay, let's go. If we had an idea, we would just run with it. So just felt like old times.
Yeah, sure did. And then we reached out to the cousins. We like, you know what? We need a choir in the music video. Michele was like, I can help organize it. I'll reach out and I'll put it out there. And so went out there, put it out there. And then we had, the visual was actually in my mind for 12 people. And how many people basically showed up? 12 people. And that was the vision, that a small chorale, and Michele was the director in it. And we showed up, and Brian, I got there, Brian was like, okay, now what we doing? What we doing? I was like, let's get it, cuz. I was like, he's like, what do you want me to capture? Where you want to start? I was like, let's go right over here to this window pane.
Yeah, which was a dope shot too. I was like, okay, yeah.
It came out quite amazing. So we had some family members that joined us. Crystal, Big Jermaine, Julian. Help me if I'm missing some folks. Michele, Melanie, Amber. Amber's in the chat room right now. Shout out to Amber. Who else we had in there? Who else? Donald. We had Paul. Who else am I missing, y'all? Zaire. Who else do we have? Did I capture everybody? Oh,
everybody.
Oh, Aunt Joetta.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cannot forget Aunt Joetta. She began to pray in the music video, and she prayed. Woo! She prayed the spirit down. She prayed heaven down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So without further ado, we're gonna share that video right now. Keep it locked right here on Sonix TV1, your new home for entertainment.
This is a world premiere.
That is Take Me Back to Church. Written, produced by yours truly. Music video by the one and only Brian Synth-Man Washington. And the actress of the director in the music video is Michele Rouse.
Yeah.
Go team! Yes, go family! Had such a great time in South Carolina with the family. Brian, Michelle, Melanie, Amber, Crystal, Big Jermaine, Donald, Paul, everyone participating in this music video. They could have been doing other things, but they actually took the time away from celebrating the family and celebrating life to make this video with us. And I couldn't be more excited and happy about the release of this song. So breaking news, this song will be released this Friday. That's right. Yeah. Officially released on all digital platforms this Friday. So check for it, check for it, check for it. We're excited. We couldn't be more excited and happy about the outcome of this music video. So Brian, tell us about the process of the editing, what you thought, your thoughts when you were making this.
So, shooting it before I even get to editing, it was hot. It was so hot in that church. Yeah, what air conditioning in there? It was like 1,000 degrees.
Oh man, we was cooking.
Oh man, it was hot. I had sweat in my eyes. I'm trying to look at the camera. My eyes got sweat in them, but it was worth all of that. It came out phenomenal. So, and as far as editing, I did a rough draft, and then when I came out to Vegas with you, then we kind of went over everything and we kind of topped it off. And I knew when I don't want to put you on Front Street. When I saw them tears fall down your eyes, the finished product, I said, "Oh yeah, we did it."
Oh, absolutely! I got so emotional watching this video, man. It took me back to being a kid down in South Carolina, down in Somerville, Jetburg, with the family going to church, and the vision that my Mehmet actually shared with me on my birthday. It came to life. It really came to life, and everyone, at the shoot at the church was just jumping in, helpful. It was just very spiritual. We could feel the presence, and yes, when I watched it back, I just felt so uplifted, inspired, blessed, and touched. And the vision grandmother shared with me that very day was actually captured, and we actually was able to record it. It just was amazing to see it come back to life. I felt like at that moment I was 5 years old again, riding in that deuce and a quarter to church. Mehmet's brown deuce and a quarter, showing up to church for Sunday school after we watched wrestling on Saturday night. So seeing that, man, it was just, it just made me so emotional, man.
Yeah, it was great for me just to see your reaction. And I'm trying to hold it in myself. I was like, yeah, I'm smiling and laughing, but on the inside, I'm like, man, you better not shed a tear. Don't shed no tear.
Don't worry, we get a bucket for you, brother. We get
But it was great. It was that moment for me, seeing how happy you was at the finished product. We were watching it on the big TV also. So it was like we watching a movie of it. It was, to me, that was like, it was worth all the work. It truly together, like you said.
It really hit home, And so, Michelle, during the recording process, I know you was cooking. Clothes sticking.
It was hot. It was hot in there, no AC. We couldn't keep the doors open because of the background noises. It was just hot. But
Yes.
It was wonderful making the video. It was just awesome. Like you said, it just brought back so many memories of our family, our grandmothers and grandfathers and everybody just coming together. We used to come together so often in that little church. And our uncle, big shout out to Chief Apostle Alan A. Stevens, who allowed us to be in there and to film in there. And he saw the vision and he was very excited to let us use the church again. So, it was just a wonderful experience being there together.
Yeah, shout out to Uncle Bill. I reached out to him. He's like, you want to do what? Okay. And I'm like, I need the old building. I really need the old building. He was like, He's like, okay, well, we'll get it ready for you. No hesitation at all. So thank you. And like you said, shout out to Uncle Bill, Apostle, Alan Simmons for allowing us to shoot the music video in the first place. So we're just so grateful. And during that process, man, the whole time I just felt like while we were recording everything, that it just felt like being home in a way that you just cannot really explain. Just a sense of being home, remembering church services. I can just hear the music going. I could just see all of the parishioners. I could see and hear Uncle David and Ricky and Darren playing the instruments. I can visualize Uncle Bill preaching the sermon. Like all these things I could just visualize in my head that while we were actually shooting this music video, all these things were just going through my spirit, and it was just blessed. And shout out to all the participants in the music video. We would not be remiss if we didn't, say thank you. We appreciate you. We are grateful for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And also during the video, Aunt Joetta began to pray. We actually, I actually wanted to capture Joetta as a stand-in for our grandmother, Meme. So when she began to pray, the spirit began to move. You could feel God's presence in the place. And, Brian, you can elaborate a little bit more.
So when we got to that scene, it's now an iconic scene for me, because at the time when you had asked her to pray and we started shooting, I didn't realize she was praying for real until I got up close to her, because I was zooming in and I'm walking up toward her. And then I was trying to say something to her to kind of direct her, but then I noticed, I'm like, oh, she's in the spirit for real. I said, okay. So I just started backing up, and you could just feel the presence of God in there. And after that take, we just had to stop filming. And I think you went over to hug her or something, and she was praying for you. And like everybody in there, you could hear everybody start to pray in the background. I was like, this is amazing. I just remember thinking that like, wow, this is amazing. So that scene is like real special to me, because you just had to be in the building to see and witness what happened during that take. It was phenomenal.
You could definitely feel God's presence, And so one of the things that I noticed also in the video, Michelle, did you realize that the picture of Meme and Pepe is actually all through the music video? Because when you're directing the choir, when I'm up in the pulpit, the picture is actually hanging off to the left.
I didn't even realize it. And you know what? And all of this was meant to be. Everything that happened and the prayers and the pictures, everything was like God's stamp of approval. It was just so amazing. The spirit was there, and it was just wonderful. The picture of Meme and Pepe, who we were trying to bring in anyway, was there, and I didn't even know that picture was in it. So it was awesome. It was just awesome.
It's woven through the whole video. And then so, long story short, the vision of me shooting in front of the window pane in the pew, we actually wanted to put another picture in the song, in the video. And it was a picture of Meme basically standing in the same pew.
Wow.
Which I didn't realize at first. She's actually standing in that same pew that I'm actually, she actually turned around to speak to the congregation, and I'm standing singing the song in that pew. And so it's just all kind of things like that woven into the music video. And so I'm grateful for both of you for, your participation, and Brian, putting your hands to the wheel and helping out Big Cuz with the music videos, because you have several that we actually aired on the show today. We aired Broadway, we aired Savage, and now we aired Take Me Back to Church, which will officially be released. That's right, this week, Friday, on all digital platforms. So it's a celebratory moment. It's Michelle's birthday. Hey, it's Thanksgiving tomorrow. So what are your plans for Thanksgiving, B? What do you got going on?
Right now, I have no plans.
No plans?
I have no plans. As of right now, I don't. Okay. So I moved into got the studio built. home. So I still got some stuff that you don't see it all, but I still got some stuff to put away over here. And I'm just like,
well, you have plenty of houses to go to.
Plenty.
I can choose.
How about you, Michelle? What are your plans for Thanksgiving?
I'm going to Mom's house. You know, that's
okay.
that's a staple up here in Connecticut. We always go to her house, and it's been a tradition since we was little. So I'm not going to break that.
So, are you cooking anything?
Of course, I'm doing some desserts.
Well, come on. We want to know what you cooking. What you got cooking?
And some cheesecakes and some, some good old. I'm going to do a 3D cake for my birthday. You know, I have to do something special. But other than that, it's going to be great food. And I know wherever you are, you're going to have some great food there too. But it's nothing like Mom's cooking.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Absolutely right. So, Michelle, what's up next for you? What's up next for you?
Well, the sky's the limit. I'm just trying to see where God is leading me, and hopefully I'll be putting out some new music soon, and hopefully I'll be doing some more. I'm doing some writing. I'm actually going to try to put a book out. So there's some things in store for me. So,
okay, well, we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to it. Let me know how I can help. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Of course, I'm calling all of y'all.
You know what? I just remembered.
Tag
we do
me.
a track a few years ago, Michelle?
We started a track. We never finished it. So we got to go back. We got to go back.
That sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
We started something, but we never
Y'all
finished
owe me. Y'all owe me. I'm watching.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Hey, B, what's up next for you, man? What's up for you next?
I'm still trying to get this next movie off the ground. So I've done a few shorts. I've done a few features for other people, but I want to get my first full-length feature film done. So the script is pretty much almost done.
Okay.
It's just the logistics of everything, because I don't have a big budget. I have no budget. So everything that I do, I've learned on my own, do it myself. So trying to get the people together, schedules together, find locations, costumes, you name it. It's a lot. Props, all of that stuff is either coming out of my own pocket, or if any of the cast want to help get something. So it's a lot putting all this stuff together. So it's a work in progress, but that's my goal, is to get my first feature film done.
Well, we're looking forward to that. And so we're excited and happy to have you both here today. It was a blessing to have you in the music videos. And Brian and I have quite a bit more coming your way. We're working on 6 music videos right now. So stay tuned. We have plenty coming your way.
A lot of work.
A lot of work. So we've actually got together a few months ago and shot Broadway. Just a quick recap of that, Brian.
So Broadway was dope. I enjoyed all of that. Like when we both got to New York, we hit the ground running. I think we shot for like 13, 14 hours straight.
A little more, bro. A little more.
Bad.
I think it was like 16 hours or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Because all you got was a nap. You got a nap and had to get right to the airport to get back. So it was like 16, 18 hours, I think. It was just
great. We were just on it. But it was cool. Broadway, shooting Broadway, on Broadway, and Times Square. I enjoyed every last second of that. It was great. So the whole process of that was dope.
One quick question I will pose to you both before we go. Technology. How has that changed what you do in your creative process, Michelle?
Technology is just a continual thing. It's evolving every day. Right now, I'm also a project manager where I work, and I'm a part of the whole Gen AI situation. So technology is coming. People don't want it. People are, they don't like change, but change is here, and it will change everything. What you see now is not what you're going to see tomorrow. It's coming. It's here.
Mm-hmm.
So in my business, I've seen so many gadgets that's out that I'm trying to purchase myself now. So yes.
And how about you, Brian? How is technology enhancing or changing the aspect of how you're working these days?
Like Michelle said, Technology it's inevitable. It changes, just like she said. You got to stay up on it, or you're gonna get left behind. So even in the filmmaking world, there's cameras, there's software, there's trackers, there's all kind of things that, you know, AI. So there's even AI based things in filmmaking that you may not even notice in TV shows and movies, but it's AI stuff. And some people are afraid of AI, and I get it. I get that part of it. But since I'm a tech head, I love technology. I get the good uses of it. So yeah, you gotta learn how to incorporate all of that, you know, to keep doing what you're doing. You have to.
Absolutely. So any parting words for our viewers, Michele?
Parting words, I would just say keep striving to whatever your dreams are and never give up on them, because eventually it will happen. You just got to stay focused and encourage your own self when you have to, because you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you, Brian, last parting words for our viewers?
Not to be all preachy, but, you know, preaching is just in us. The Bible says, despise not small beginnings. So no matter what your idea is, how insignificant you might think it is, you trying to hide it, don't hide it. It's in you for a reason. God put it in you. Put in the work and let God water it and let it grow, because that small thing is going to turn into a big thing.
And amen. Amen to that. You know, we're just grateful that, you know, to have Brian. We want to thank them for taking their time out, their busy schedules, and sharing their time with us here today on Sonix TV1. We thank you for joining us, Brian. We thank you for joining us, Michele. We'll see you next time here on Sonix TV1. Thank you for joining us. You can find out more about Brian at the Synth-Man, _Synth_Man. That's his handle, and you can find him on all social media at the_Synth_Man. And you can find Michele at facebook.com/blessedbaked. That's right, facebook.com/blessedbaked. And you can find more about my artistry and, you know, at my website, sonicmusic.net, SONIXmusic.net. And also, you can check out my merchandise, sonicmusic.net/store. SONIXmusic.net/store. And that is my QR code. And also, that'll send you to all my music on all digital platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon. It's all available. So you can take a snapshot of the actual QR code, and it'll send you to my link tree. Next week's episode, we have the one and only legend, the icon, Sugar Blue. He played on the song Missing You by the Rolling Stones, blues harmonica player out of New York and Chicago. You don't want to miss this episode. This brother is electrifying tours all over the world. He will be our guest next week. Grammy Award winner, that's right, a Grammy Award winning harmonica player, world-renowned blues artist, Sugar Blue. That's right. If you like what you've seen, you like what you've heard, subscribe and like the channel right down below. You'll be getting notifications to when we're going live. Please, we love to hear from you. Also, the email address and also handles, you can find us on I am Sonix, Sonix. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. Thank you everyone for joining us today on Sonix TV1, where you are number one and our guests are stars among stars. I greatly appreciate you spending your time with us today, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Be inspired, be uplifted, be entertained. Be inspired, be uplifted, be entertained. I am your host, Sonix, and I'll see you next time right here on Sonix TV1. God bless.